got so much energy.
That's the ball game. Yeah. Gang.
Anyways, guys, that could definitely be a reality very soon. With March Madness and those conference tournaments coming around, guys. Oof. Yeah. NFL Combine that happened this weekend. Yeah, we're back. Let's get this thing going. What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the NFL. Please like and subscribe. Hope you guys are ready for the 2026 NFL Combine recap. Admittedly, I haven't been up to date as much as I should be on my scouting process. I obviously have gotten through most of the guys here, at least to an extent. I'm still getting through a lot of the offensive line stuff. We will be having a defensive tackle, interior defensive line, featured prospect rankings video. That'll probably be coming out on either Wednesday or Thursday, maybe on Friday. I'm going to try to have the mock draft, first mock draft 1.0, come out on Saturday. That's pretty comfortably going to happen then. But you will, again, from today, the free agency starts in again, a week. So you'll have, again, with all this news, which we'll catch up on. But, again, basically, schedule for the rest of the week again, because I'm back. Yeah, I'm back again. We obviously had the one thing every team should do this offseason last week, but I'm back. Offseason stuff is really gonna start kick up now because again, last couple weeks I already said after the Super Bowl February was really slow, but we're gonna get really into this here. So again, I got my the combine recap here. We'll get you in a little bit more on that as we get you guys up to date here with the trades in the NFL. But like I said, week from today is the start of free agency. I will have a recap from that probably on Monday night if I had to guess. But again, in between that, we have our first prospect feature rankings of that for the 2026 NFL draft. I've gotten pretty deep into the defensive tackle, so I have some good stuff there. Not completely done grading them out, but again, I'll have that ready for you guys. And then also, again, like I said, probably on Saturday, first mock draft. That again always goes a little bit all over the place. And again, I do 3 mock drafts in the NFL draft process, so just be ready for that. But with that said, we do have some trades to get up to date on. Again, before free agency starts, and a lot of other shenanigans. We'll get obviously into the prospects in a second. But here are the first trades. First one is a pretty bizarre one, but we did have the Jets trading Jermaine Johnson, their 2022 first round pick, something like that, to the Titans for Devondre Sweat, who has been one of the better defensive tackles in the football. I don't even know what else happened in this trade, but all you guys need to know is Jermaine Johnson was really good in 2023, tore his Achilles in 2024. Last year, in a rotational role wasn't too bad, but yeah, that's about it. I mean, he is a help at edge rusher for sure. Is he a certainty? Absolutely not. Devondre Sweat, I already told you guys, one of the more valuable defensive tackles in football. Is he an elite player? No, but he'll give you really good run stuffing ability and will, again, really influence the pocket. Great addition for the Jets, who again kind of got basically a cheaper option for Quinn Williams. I will say though, the Titans, this is a need they did address. It's just not, again, a true certainty. So again, I'm honestly not the biggest fan of this in that sense, but at the same time, he is an answer to a question, so that's good. But definitely an interesting trade to talk off the offseason. Again, these easy spin trades. Again, take with them what you will, but they're using this pass rush win rate. Like, bro, what the hell? Again, I use pressure rate to an extent, but again, watch the goddamn guys play. It's that simple. Devondre Sweat, run stuffer. Jermaine Johnson, really solid. Again, speed to power, bend moves. Again, not really like I'll say Will McDonald, but definitely more diverse pass rush there. But still, he's a solid player. All right, now we move to our next trade. This one I think happened yesterday, something like that. We had Titus Howard go to the Browns for a 5th round pick. Titus Howard, I'm not going to lie, guys, has kind of been falling off the past couple years. He's been kind of an inconsistent guy throughout his entire career, but he again, realistically is going to give you solid, sustainable blocking in terms of like actual, like, sustaining his blocks, which is again a huge asset for any offensive line. He is again probably going to be thrown out at right tackle, maybe left tackle, we'll see. But that is a big time move for the Browns there. Again, he's obviously not a great player, but again, for now he'll definitely suffice. Texans, I don't know what you're doing. Your offensive line has been, again, it wasn't as bad as I think some people were anticipating to be last year, but it was still really bad. Last season, the fact you're getting rid of, again, arguably your best offensive lineman, that is just a move I can't really sit with. But, yeah, Texans, I don't know what you're doing. Hopefully your offseason will look a little bit better going forward. Maybe in the draft, maybe so, again, a guy like Caleb Lomu, Spencer Fano, Francis Maiaga, who really knows. Anyways, though, our last trade we'll be talking about today is the Lions' big-time trade of, yeah, this is just not good, of David Montgomery. I will say Juice Scruggs is a big-time get. I think, was it sophomore season last year. He has been a really solid, I guess, guard is what they're calling him. He should be at center. But anyways, yeah, he's a solid player. Biggest issue with Juice Scruggs is he's just not a great pass blocker, but as a run blocker, he really gets the job done. I will say last year I think it was a little bit disappointing in terms of like what he was actually able to do, but in terms of individualized, stop that guy from blowing up a hole, that is what Juice Scruggs does well. He is the guy in that sense, and that is something the Lions really do need in terms of their against schematics going into next year for their run game. I don't know why they got rid of David Montgomery. Really just, I'm going to go off the angle of Jahmyr Gibbs. Jahmyr Gibbs is not a guy I want to be giving 30 carries a game. If that does happen, this team will be in a rough spot at some point next season because Jahmyr Gibbs, his legs will fall off or he'll burn out. Texans is a big time get because he's a guy who can handle a #1 workload. No one knows what's going on with Joe Mixon. You saw how bad that offense was at points last year, mostly because they couldn't run the ball on top of obviously C.J. Stroud deficiencies there. But still, for the Texans, this is a big time deal. Obviously, some people don't like it because they have a 4th and 7th round pick for a running back that's, what is he now, 30, something like that? Or no, he's not that old. How old is he? He's we're just geeking. He's 28, so he's not young. But yeah, it's an answer to a question that they really needed. Again, that's really what these trades are at the end of the day. But at the end of the day, on that, that's all I have for you guys here with these trades. I will be going through the, again, Combine results, and you guys will see some of the highlights from it. Basically from day to day. So we'll start out with Thursday, which, if I'm not mistaken, was a defensive lineman, and the linebacker is not my positional sort, but that's what they do for the Combine. So yeah, let's see how these front 7 dudes did.
Nice start. Look at that split.
He got out.
Oh, boy. 4-1-6-2 is the split. 4-5-1 for David Bailey. That is a box checked.
Him from different places. This young man is pretty darn good, and you mentioned how young he is.
Yeah, he's super toolsy,
So
and obviously he did.
Yeah, he did. And I asked him, what do you like to do in terms of setting people up with a pass rush? And he said, part of his initial top 50. So that tells you exactly.
Sonny Styles does it. Matches the time. Is the highest of any player 6'4" or taller we've ever measured. We've been doing.
Run, jump, go. Nice, Kyle, get out of the way.
That was smooth.
Good job, good drill. Make sure we're running full speed at coach.
Rodriguez has had a heck of a workout. He's just following the wrong guy.
Yeah, let's go. Good. That's the way to run full speed.
That's
Good catch, put it away.
he's got
Love that.
outstanding balls.
Oh, baby. There's no question, respectable neighborhood. And again, 6'5", 2.
All right, guys, and on Thursday, we did see the defensive tackles, I guess edge rushers / linebackers / however the heck I'm going to categorize this. Again, we'll look through the 40-yard dash, the, shuttle split, which no one really does, I guess. Vertical jump, broad jump, 3-cone shuttle, and the bench. It's all great things. It's all fun things. Also, guys, the kickers did this, so I want to see what they did. No one did the 40. Wait, so they were just kicking? You know what? That's great. Anyways, though, 40-yard dash, Zane Durant did the best in this. This is a guy that has been touted as a pretty good but not elite athlete. Or not pretty good, but not a great athlete. But I think after this is something that could be really good. I haven't watched enough of his tape to really get a full picture and really give you guys a credible analysis on what I think of him in terms of an actual player. But that's what the defensive tackle grades are for. Not grades, rankings are for, which will be coming out on Wednesday. Anyways, though, outside of that, Caleb Proctor out of southeastern Louisiana. Could not tell you who that is. 4.79. There on the 40. Yeah, he's definitely a guy that I could see that coming there. Grayson Howland, he was a big-time run defender for Oklahoma last year. I've already watched enough of his film, thank God. Some of these guys you get ahead of with, but yeah, he 4.82. Caleb Banks, there was question marks of his pursuit. 5.08.4 is not great. I mean, you were probably looking for a 4.9, but I mean, you know, he's huge, guys. What are you gonna expect? No one else who was really that great did this. I mean, my bad. Not anyone. Lee Hunter did it. And he's slow. We already knew that, so I'm not really too mad. Brandon Cleveland, 5'12". That's a little bit low, but again, these guys are probably the slowest in the entire draft. So what else do you really want there? For the defensive tackles though, 10-yard split. I don't really care about this really at all. I mean, it's really just the start of a 40. I mean, some of these guys, it's going to be more important for like, a guy like Albert Regas. This will kind of give you a little bit more of an idea of what he'll look like in terms of his first step off the line of scrimmage, which is huge for him, and his pass rush makeup, considering he doesn't really have much of one. But again, for other guys like Nick Barrett, I don't really care. So, like whatever. Vertical jump. Grayson Howland won this. He's a good athlete. I really wasn't. Again, I kind of expected this to happen. I will say Caleb Banks, like I said, a little bit lower here. Not the end of the world though. Broad jump. That went to Albert Regas. He jumped 9'8". That's, I mean, for a guy his size, that's not the end of the world. Not the end of the world by any means. But yeah, you can see Tim Keenan 8'4", Lee Hunter 8'4", not the greatest. Everyone else jumped basically 9 feet, which honestly, in terms of a standard, you want to be around 9'2", 9'3", and most of these guys got at least to there in terms of, again, where they were, again, expected to be. I got Nick Barrett, you're going to deal with that. But yeah, not too bad for the broad jump. 3-cone, this is really important for these guys in terms of actual certain areas, but at the end of the day, again, it's not as measurable as you might think it would be. Devin Eastern, that's a good time for him. Other than that, again, nothing really too crazy. Shuttle drill. If this can load. All right. And again, like I said, for these defensive tackles, not a lot of other guys do it. Caleb Proctor was, again, it was good to see him up there. Jackie Marshall, he needed to put up some good, measurable or objective points. This is definitely one for him. Bench press, obviously everyone did this. I'm joking, only 5 people did. But David Gusta, damn, 37 reps, bro. Holy crap, you're a big dude. Too bad you're not a great football player. Anyways, though, not too bad for the defensive tackles. Again, a lot of decent stuff, I'd like to say. And overall, in terms of improvement from last year in terms of this class at the defensive tackle spot, at least in these measurable things. We're going to linebacker, which is kind of a mosh posh of everything. Again, there's one guy that everyone's going to look at, Sonny Styles. He absolutely lit the combine up, 4.46. He broke the record for the vertical jump with a 40. It was ridiculous. 43.5, ridiculous. His broad was also insane. 11-2. He's just an absolute freak of an athlete in that sense. I still don't think he's as good as people think he is. I think if he came out of last year's draft, he would have been drafted near the first round. This draft, he'll be drafted very, very high. But at the same time, he is a true linebacker in the NFL. He is a guy that has the potential, at least athletically, to be quite good. But at the same time, there's some things we'll get into when we get to the linebacker rankings that definitely don't favor him. Kale Emersor, he's also a great athlete. The only issue with him is that he's not always the most sudden in terms of getting downhill as a run blocker, or not again in terms of run defense, which is an issue. Anthony Hill, not surprising to see him there. Kyle Lewis is a safety. He needed to have some speed. This is a completely fine time for him. Jacob Rodriguez, again, there were really questions about his coverage abilities, and this really didn't get answered too much here. But yeah, Justin Jefferson, similar thing there, except he's a little bit more of a surefire guy because of the fact that he is pretty decent man for, again, a linebacker, so I'm not too concerned there. Other than that, you didn't really see any true edge rushers here. Again, really be put a linebacker. 10-yard split. That one to Namid, I can't pronounce his name. This is a guy that actually can line up the line of scrimmage. I forgot to mention that. This guy, he's got a good explosion. He has been a decent blitzer at times, so watch out for that. Vertical jump, though. Again, like I said, Sonny Styles blew this away. 2 guys getting 40 inches is huge also. Caleb, again, specifically Carson Sharer, my bad if I'm not pronouncing his name right. But he's definitely a guy that for maybe not being the most capable at, again, a starting linebacker position, with this, again, kind of showing athleticism, there's definitely a little bit more of a floor for his game, which I like a lot. Jay Galladay, or Golday, I'll pronounce his name right, whatever. He had a pretty interesting season last year. But other than that, that's really all I have in these guys. I mean, I guess Jimmy Roller didn't do himself any help with the 36. But, yeah. Broad jump. Like I said, Sonny Styles stole the show. Kyle Lewis, really impressive showing there. Like I said here, again, a guy like, again, they're all around, again, 10 feet, which is really where you need to be. But I would have liked more, I don't know, where, again, if you're Carson Scherer, if you're around here, you should be in a decent spot. But at the same time, again, around 10 feet isn't the end of the world. Definitely wanted to be doing a little better than that, though. 3-cone. Did anyone even do this? Okay, guys, some people did. Yeah, sure. Jacob Rodriguez, that's actually a fun time. Again, this is probably more of his group, to be honest with you guys, because he doesn't always, again, his lateral quickness actually isn't the biggest issue because he is pretty solid downhill as a run defender. Obviously, he had like 180 tackles this past season, protects his tech. But yeah, this is a good, really good time for him. Kyle Lewis, I would have liked to be honestly sub 6'9", but you know, you can get what you can get there. Xavier Sorry, again, pretty solid 7 flat. But yeah. Like I said, Sonny Styles, I guess that's not the greatest. I think he slipped, though, so, you know, it was bizarre with that. Jimmy Rolder, really good time for him because, again, he didn't look in the other ones. And overall, he's just, again, questionable in terms of his overall capabilities there. Shuttle, honestly, guys, I don't even give a crap about this for the linebackers because, like, why would I? But I will say Sonny Styles going 4.26 isn't great. Sub 4.2 would be better, but, again, it's pretty damn close. Bench press! Josiah Trotter, the brother and son of Jeremiah Trotter Sr. or Jeremiah Trotter Jr. and Jeremiah Trotter Sr. Anyways, though, he's a strong dude, but you know, there's a reason he'll need a couple of these things. All right, edge rusher. Dash for the edge rushers. David Bailey ran the fastest. I can tell you that right now if this is gonna load. David Bailey's going to be a top 5 pick, I think, pretty easily. Oh, we got our Alvarez. What the hell, bro? Alvarez is an absolute freaking monster. I think we can all say that. But yeah, I want to give you guys hot takes in these top 2 guys, but I mean, they're 1A, 1B right now. Not in terms of my actual rankings or anything like that, but like in terms of a consensus there. Malachi Lawrence, this is huge for him. He's an explosive bendy edge rusher. That's really what he needs to give you guys. Cassius Howell, I really like that time for him. Where is he? TJ Parker, this is just not going to get it done. Ormason Thomas is completely fine because he's literally just a straight up freaking bull rush there. But TJ Parker, yeah, it just doesn't do it for me. Other than that, though, I mean, I guess LT Overton at a 4.89 is bad. He's more of a defensive tackle, though, so, I mean, you can work with it, but it's kind of like a hard thing to think about with him. And then you got Quintavious Hutchins at Boston College. He was by far Boston College's best player last year, at least most talented. That's kind of where I saw him sitting. But, yeah, some of these guys, like I said, TJ Parker just got to be doing better than that. Split on this is really, I won't say it's really important, but in a lot of ways, if we're thinking about like a measurable stat, this would be it. And I look at this in terms of a first step, or really even second step explosion. There was really second step with this. This is kind of what I expected. I will say though, where is he? Quintavious Hutchins is not a guy you look off. Again, he can get going though. Again, if you get him on like the second step, you're gonna beat him. But if you don't, he's gonna come up, and it's not gonna end well. That's what I'll say there. Vertical. This is also something that I'm not as concerned about. But George Gump's 41 inches is pretty damn good. But yeah, a guy like TJ Parker again with 34. He's got it. You want to see some athleticism out of him, and like the burst just isn't really there in this. Keldrick Folk, that's definitely a disappointment for him too. David Bailey, I don't really care about. And then you got again Trey Moore, not too bad. But yeah, that's what I have on that. For broad jump, you look at Malachi Lawrence, 10-10, not too bad. But honestly, guys, like, this is kind of like all over the place. Again, Cassius Halligan and as well as Keldrick Folk, these are just guys that you can. I'll say Trey Moore, TJ Parker, not too bad. Wesley Williams, though, not doing himself any favors either here. 3-cone. You know, that just doesn't get done here. Like, bro, who really cares if 3-cone for an edge rusher? Shuttle, though, let's see what this turned out to be. Yeah, Trey Moore's the only one who did it. But anyways, bench press. Also, no one really did it. I wanted someone to crack 40. Anyway, though, that's all I have here. Let's get to our next day, which was tight ends and safeties, right? Yeah. Let's see what happened there.
Needs there.
The 2 firsts in the first 20 picks of the draft. 4.38.
Jeez.
Yep. Here he goes. 4.36 is a 4.32. What they should do with this drill, guys? They should have officials here, seeing if they have 2 feet down.
For Maggie Land.
Julian Neal, where do you think he's going to fit on the field?
When I watch him, I think safe.
Emmanuel McNeil Warren, the second top-ranked safety on DJ's board, improves his time. Enzo Styles Sr. won a Super Bowl with the Rams.
He's rolling.
And Junior just runs a 4.28. Holy smokes!
3 inches in the vertical, and the
I
broad
just have the broad. That's
the
all I
broad
know.
could get close to 11 feet, so I'll go 10-10 on the broad.
Charles, close without going over.
You know, yesterday.
You win the
Are you? I know you've changed your format and you've been running in the Rose Bowl in different spots, but are you? Might be a good track for you down here if you want to lay
No,
the time.
all right. We're 5-3. And the Ducks off and rolling.
He's flying.
Kenyon Sadiq, 4-4 flat. Off he goes.
Oh my gosh.
He's moving. Wow. 4-5-1.
All games each and every week in the NFL, you saw the proliferation of injuries. You saw the rookie tight end from Texas last year. Helm did a nice job with the Titans. It's going to be a good piece for Cam Ward.
I swear this is like looking at a track meet with these results. But anyways, we had our safeties going at it. Definitely a weaker position in this year's draft class. I'm not going to lie to you guys. But Lorenzo Styles Jr., a guy who can't tackle, he ran a 4.27. And for a guy who is not going to be looked at as a true free safety, this is a really fun, measurable stat for him. Robert Spears-Jennings, this is a huge thing for him because he will be a guy that will be asked to be doing a lot more in coverage in the NFL. I don't know if he'll ever be a true, we'll say, starting caliber player. But in terms of an actual, like, a relative role for him, this is definitely a good thing to have. Dylan Thiemann, not really too surprised there. He's a guy that, again, a lot of people are going to want. Jalen Kilgore, perfect time for him. I will say Emmanuel McNeil-Warren, who was my #1 safety prospect outside of, obviously, the best player in this draft class. This was definitely probably as bad as he could have done in the Combine. I mean, 4.52 is not what you want to see, but in a lot of ways, I still don't really care, but I'm not going to lie. This is definitely not where you want to be. In terms of, again, I got to be honest to an extent here. He obviously did not have a good Combine show out here. And honestly, I don't even know if he even should have went there. Because, again, on tape, he plays fast, but that was not the case at the Combine. Michael Taft, also not doesn't do himself any favors there. Xavier Nwankpa out of Iowa. This is a guy that's a straight downhill, just absolute enforcer there. 4.48 isn't bad for him at all. Split, though, this is kind of where it gets a little bit wonky. As we, again, get this thing loading. Because it's just a little bit all over the place. But again, you look at McNeil-Warren again, 1.58. He just didn't really accelerate the way I thought he was gonna. Vertical jump. Genesis Smith got that 42.5. He's just got, honestly, guys, in terms of breaking up plays, that's his thing. Again, Emmanuel McNeil-Warren, again, it's a decent enough number, 35.5. You'll definitely work with, but it's not as great. And obviously, Robert Spears-Jennings is gonna be a guy that's gonna be more to the ground in terms of breaking up passes, which is, I guess, okay in some ways. Broad jump. Yeah, I could. Honestly, I don't really care that much about this. Again, as long as you're over 10 feet, Dalton Johnson, you're at least okay. But at the same time, you're looking more at 10.6 to be in a good spot. Again, Emmanuel McNeil-Warren just not really showing out as an athlete here. 3-cone, did anyone even do this? Yeah. Shuttle. What do we got? Anything? Probably not that much. The drills, though, for these safeties didn't look too bad either. Again, not really many drills passes, pretty smooth. Bench, oh, damn, people actually bench. Daniel Thielman showing up. Yeah, he should. He's a pretty strong dude. But yeah, that was safeties for the tight ends now. Like I said, the drills for the safeties, nothing really too notable. I will say a couple of them did stumble a little bit. Didn't look too great with the hands, but at the same time, what the hell are those drills really going to tell you much? Again, I don't know, attention to detail. Like, let's be honest here. All right, tight end, Kenyon Sadiq showed out, 4.39. That's what you need to see out of him. Eli Stowers a little slow, not the end of the world. I would have liked to see Marlon Klein kind of throw something under sub 4.6, but you're going to work with it. Jack Hendry's really solid number for him. Yeah, other than that, again, a lot of these blocking tight ends back here. Sam Roush, again, that's got to be faster. But other than that, I mean, again, not really too much surprising here out of these guys, considering, again, tight end's pretty projectable for a 40. The split, this is actually a pretty big number. I'm going to say Sadiq, maybe who's that second guy? Might have been the second guy then, and probably get mixed up after that. But yeah, Sadiq, and then, okay, I guess Andrews was there, okay. Oh yeah, John Michael Gleinberg. Watch out for him, guys. He can definitely, he'll definitely have a place in the league as a run blocker. And then Eli Raridan's not too bad either. Another solid blocker. Just his route running is definitely lacking. On that vertical jump, Eli Stowers got that by a decent bit. He's got hops, I'm not going to lie. I don't know if he'll be a true 50-50 guy, but in the red zone, he'll be, again, an absolute monster. Kenny Sadiq, obviously, this is a good number for him. He's not, I won't say he's the best athlete in this draft, but he's pretty damn good. Other than that, though, again, you look at these, not even these blocking tight ends. A guy like Bauer Sharp, he's got to get better than 35, but you only get some of these guys. I will say, Will Carmiak, and where the hell is the other Ohio State guy? Is he even? I guess not. Yeah, 36 is pretty impressive for him. Broad jump. Again, I'm not really expecting anything too crazy here. I'm just not. But what do we got? There we go. Yeah. Again, two best athletes in the draft, over 11 feet. Not too surprised there. Tanner Kozel throws up a surprising 10 plus. Then you got guys down in the 9/8, which will not help themselves because, again, I'm not acting like, again, tight end's probably one of the lesser athletic positions in the draft. But at least this year, most years it is that way too. But you got to get over 10 feet, guys. I'm sorry. 3 cone, again, like I said, no one really does this drill. I still don't really know why it's in here. Again, for some positions like running back, you can kind of work with it, but for other positions like this one, it's like, why are you doing it? Shuttle, though, well, I'll actually see if this is pretty interesting if anyone actually did it. What do we got? There we go. Sam Roush, not too bad, 4.37. Again, John Michael Kleinberg, I'm telling you guys, watch out for him. Not just off the combine stuff, but he's a good prospect. Bench, yeah, really just the blocking tight ends that need to do this. All these guys, at least to an extent, are considered blocking guys. Obviously, other than Kenny Sadiq, and he's still bench 26. Are you kidding me? But yeah, Jared Kanak, watch out for that. He's got a 24, not too bad. But yeah, solid numbers from these tight ends. This combine where I got through the safeties too. But yeah, that was Friday. Pretty chill, which I like a lot. Now let's get into the madness, which was the quarterbacks, running backs, and receivers from Saturday.
Here we go. Jeremiah Love running a 40 at the combine. 4.37. Heidenreich, 4.47 the first time. Second time, Jackson. First run, 4.6 flat. Second run. All right.
Here we go.
There he goes. Nice start. And the finish, it's a 4.5 flat.
Straight line. Good.
Emmett Johnson.
Good.
RB10, and now
Quick.
Corner to turn back inside to catch the ball. That's a lot of what you're... Mark Stoops' time in Kentucky with a big offensive line. Look at that 42 and a half. The big blue wall.
here's Joe Fignano from UConn. This is his Rip Green, who crushed it.
Woo, he
on
is
the
striding
bird.
that out.
4, 3, 7.
Calf, look at those.
4 flat.
Great time. Right now, you want to hang out in the right neighborhoods.
Seemed like he stumbled. And he stumbled to a 4.36.
Week of training.
Hit it.
Those guys that play the national championship game from those teams, you know, I've seen.
Caleb Black is still.
I know, not here. The number of guys in those that had that long season, I think there's a good number of those Miami and Indiana players that are going to hit. Concepcion. Again, he talked about the 7 drops that he had. There's a focus on that drill.
He might as well throw it into the stands. That
Anthony
arm was
Richardson
incredible.
too, right?
Get out there on him early.
There you go.
Oh, that was almost an extremely difficult.
There you go.
That's a better ball.
I think it's a cheat step to open him up to whatever side he wants to throw the ball. I think that's been what he's taught, and he throws a pretty deep ball.
That was a nice one. I do appreciate the boos because I never have to look at the number to see who's up. I just know it's Beck's turn. Get that one out there a little bit.
There he goes. Bryce Lance, 4.34. Goes.
It's a little stumble. I thought they would blow it.
4.54.
Yeah, he stumbled.
4.26. Okay. Nice grab behind him.
Nice.
All right. Good. He's from here. Played for Indiana for 4 years. Actually was a quarterback there for a while.
I think they remember.
They do.
And not, I don't, you know, for whatever reason, they just decided not to go back with that anymore. But he did it.
Nice throw from Simpson.
Absolutely. And to me, it just, you see it with him and with Nussmeier. Their footwork's just a little further along. Chair, and he'll even be a little bit more on stride.
Klubnik.
Take that with the lid on backwards. Nice catch.
I guess we'll start with the quarterbacks here and what we saw from them, and I'm not gonna lie, guys, it was a little bit all over the place. Again, if you didn't know, this is probably the weakest part of this 2026 NFL draft class, not in terms of actual, again, I guess top end things, but it's definitely very, very thin. So again, keep that in mind with this. But yeah, we did have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 quarterbacks run the 40-yard dash for various reasons. One guy to maybe play receiver in Taylor Green. Again, maybe he's Lamar, who knows? But yeah, he broke the NFL record for the fastest 40 for an NFL quarterback at 4.36. I wasn't too surprised with that. Maybe I was thinking more around 4.4, but yeah, he threw down a crazy time. Again, you look at him, his mechanics and his arm strength are definitely something to watch. There at Arkansas, but overall he was definitely a fun guy to watch there. I'll be interested to see what happens with him. Maybe he gets picked late. Haynes King, he needed to run fast, and run fast he did. Yeah, that's what I was saying to him. He's like 50 years old. Cole Payton, very interesting prospect. He's probably my most enticing quarterback in this year's draft class in terms of just not off fatigue. I've watched a crap ton of film on him. He is a fun lefty to watch, but yeah, he's a good athlete. He's definitely a dual threat quarterback. Again, anyone who constitutes him as that, I really think that's a pretty good, fair assessment. So we'll say there. Sawyer Robinson, the Baylor quarterback, this is a solid time for him. He's not the greatest of athletes, but still can show he can move, which was what we saw in college. Jalen Daniels, not the greatest time for him. You thought he was going to be more around 4.5, 4.55, but again, you'll work with this. Luke Altmaier, not too surprising there. And then Joe Fagnano, again, the reason he did this is to show that he wasn't, again, slow as shit. But in a lot of ways, he didn't really prove anything different. So, yeah. And also, he threw like crap. He missed every single throw. So, again, UConn fan here, not great. But other than that, I mean, you know, you'll definitely see worse things here. Split, Taylor Green, definitely. All right. Vertical. Did anyone do a vertical? Again, these are basically used for quarterback. They're going to throw. Also, I will say Drew Aller, he threw pretty good, but again, not really surprising there. But he, again, so bad at senior season. But yeah, Sawyer Robinson, not too bad either throwing. Really, the only bad throw was oh Jesus, Joe Fagnano, 35, not too bad. But bad throws again, like I said, Joe Fagnano, and really Taylor Green did not do too hot either. Broad jump, again, you look at this, normal guys doing it. Joe Fagnano, again, like I said, he's not a great athlete, but again, not the end of the world. But again, Taylor Green's just, he's freakish, I guess. And I don't think anyone did the 3 count. What about the shuttle? Maybe a couple people. Then we'll get to the actual fun stuff, the running backs and receivers, because that was definitely a doozy. But yeah, anything with the quarterbacks on the 20-yard shuttle? Anything? But yeah, other than the other throwing, Nussmeier did really, really good. Yeah, not too surprising there. But that's really about it. Nussmeier did well. Peyton, yeah, he didn't do too bad either. And obviously Ty Simpson, which we'll get into later. You don't really need to hear about him now. We'll be talking about him a lot. But really, again, for Ty Simpson, before we get to the running back and receivers, anyone who's thinking, oh, I loved him before, no, you didn't. You were saying he sucked after the freaking Rose Bowl. I'm not gonna lie. If you were an Alabama fan, like, oh, I love Ty Simpson. I still like after that game too. I'm like, hats off to you. But anyone who was Riddick, if you said, oh, he's not that good, no, you should go back to college, all that crap, load of BS. Again, if you say you like him now, that's all I'll say. But for running back now, this was definitely insightful. Emmett Johnson, he literally ran himself out of probably a top 4th round pick, probably with this 4 or 5, 6. You got to be faster than that. Jadrian Pierce, not the end of the world. He's more of a, I wouldn't say elusive, but strategic runner. Jan Miller, really solid time for him. Jeremiah Love, exactly what you want to see. Mike Washington, he was already a speedster. Not really too surprising there. Vertical jump, Seth McGowan, really, he had himself a combine in terms of showing his athleticism, because I didn't really know true extent to it. RAS has some at least relative athletic score. That's the website that does most of this. In terms of, you're going to want to look again, athleticism objective measurement. That's what Seth McGowan, he scores pretty well. I think it's like a 9.6, which is 59th percentile in terms of, we're talking 75th or 4th quartile design running athletic running backs, which again is where he fits. So not too bad. Broad jump now. My guess is there's not too many guys who did this, but we'll see. Again, like I said, this is loading like a track meet. If you don't know, the track meet sites, they take a minute to get going here. Yeah, but for this, yeah, Seth McGowan, like I said, 10-11, really freaking good. Jamari Taylor, 9.7, bro. No, that's not gonna get it done. Yeah, again, Devon Claiborne, again, for also this position isn't the greatest either. But him and Adam Randall are kind of competing here for, I think, what is it, RB8 or something like that. But this definitely doesn't help each other. They're, again, not really getting over 10.5, but, you know, you'll work with it. Shuttle, I don't care about 3-cone. No, we'll use it. But, yeah, for both those dudes, Randall, Claiborne, both are very similar backs in the fact that they don't really block the greatest, providing that third down security there. But they, again, very, very decisive runners. They have some sudden movements that really, again, help the offense kind of get an extra layer to it. But at the same time, you only can get so much with that. And is this even going to load, guys? I don't think it's going to. Oh, yeah, Emma Johnson, the guy. So all that's just for Emma Johnson. All right, yeah, anyone bench? Any running backs bench? We know about that. The memory on this is going crazy. 4.9, that's insane. But yeah, we got anything with this? I'm gonna say no one, because that would actually be crazy if it was only nobody. But yeah, bro, running backs don't even bench. Who cares? I gotta restart this. This is geeked. There we go. Alright, now onto the wide receivers. I'm not trying to make this too long. Brennan Thompson's the fastest player in the draft, so I'm not really too surprised with this. I think in a lot of ways he might even be faster than Xavier Worthy. This guy's just got absolute freaking wheels, guys. There's no other way to put it. He might, I don't know if he'll be first round pick, but he's got it. Xavier Thomas, I was shocked he ran a 4.28. He is definitely not the greatest receiver in this draft class. His route running is, not going to say anything other than shit. But, he's definitely an interesting guy. Deion Burks, again, longtime receiver for Oklahoma. He had a decent year last year before he got injured and stuff. But, again, 4.3, he's fast. He made a lot of big plays there. Not too surprising. Bryce Lance, that's a huge time for him. He's a guy, again, very similar to, in terms of we're talking about like athleticism, to Christian Watson. Very, very different receiver, but solid time there. Jeff Caldwell, not too surprised there. He's a really fast guy. Zachariah Branch, one of the more athletic guys in this entire draft. 4.35, what you want to see. Malik Benson, that's a really good time for him. Chris Braswell is a deep threat, so you needed that. Skylar Bell, really shocking 4.4. He's a guy, again, he was an absolute beast the past few years at UConn. Great time for him. He's a guy that's really trying to rise up, which he can definitely do. In terms of concerning times, obviously, Carnell Tate running a 4.4 or 4.53 is not the greatest thing in the world, but, you know, who really cares? Dylan Bell, 4.5 is not great either for him. Colby Young, 4.49. Again, these guys not really making any separation, which really doesn't help them. Kevin Coleman, he's more of a, again, contested catch guy, not too surprised there. Jacoby Lane, I would like to see faster, again, especially with Mekhi Lemon not being here. Jeremy Bernard, I'll work with that. He's more of a guy you want to see up towards 4.4, though. But other than that, again, Omar Cooper Jr., not too bad at all. And Tony Williams, really solid time for him. So it's really what I have in the receivers for the 40. No, I don't really care about split for this. For vert jump, Deion Burks got this too. Again, he's just, like I said, a dynamo in terms of athleticism in a lot of ways. I was shocked to see Dylan Bell and Tony Williams, and as well as even Jacoby Lane up here. That's really solid for them, at least 39 inches there. Look at some bad things. Aaron Anderson isn't just, you got it. You got to get over 30, guys. Like, or around, again. Yeah, over 30 here. This is just, again, not going to get it done. Malik Benson and Jeremy Brown, not really surprised there. That's what we're going to see out of them. They're shorter guys. Denzel Boston, that's kind of a disappointing thing for him at 35. You would have more like see 38 in terms of being a guy that can make plays over the middle. Malachi Fields, good. Because, again, he's a possession, big play, jump ball receiver. You can definitely take that. But, I mean, I would have liked more like where Skylar Bell was. But, you know, still a good thing there. Broad jump. Honestly, guys, if you're not getting over 11, you're like low-key lightweight. I'm joking. No, 10-5, really, probably 10-7 is where you want to be. But yeah, anyone who's under 10, I mean, oof, Aaron Anderson, bro, this is not looking too high here. But again, it's freaking common. Who cares? But at the same time, you look at these guys. A guy like Aaron Anderson can kind of get away with this, but he definitely didn't have a good combine. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. Shuttle hurdle. Not a ton of guys did this, but I would have liked to see Malachi Fields do better. Denzel Boston really solid. Vinny Anthony, holy crap, that's a wicked time. And did any of these guys bench? Oh, that guy, Deion Burks, 26, Jordan Tyson. Oh, he benched. I mean, I guess he had some strength concerns in a little bit, but yeah, bro, threw down 26. Damn. Yeah, Zachariah Branch did pretty decent for his expectation, but yeah, Deion Branch, again, Jordan Tyson. Consensus #1 receiver in this year's draft. I'll see about that. I want to really get into his tape, but yeah, not too surprising with that. That's really all I have for the quarterbacks, running backs, and receivers. Now let's get to our last day, which was the offensive linemen.
5:03 from Besances.
Yeah, really good time for
That's right.
Yes, exactly. Here we go. There we go.
By the way, Spencer Fano,
Let's go.
our really good players, blew his knee out over the weekend.
Oh, jeez.
5:02.
Now,
Yeah, and his
absolutely.
bank account, too.
Definitely his bank account.
So
And his
Blake
longevity
Miller-
and durability.
He was pretty much a starter day one when he got to school, more than 50 starts. What do you
He's got a lot of power he can generate there. But someone who's so new to football that there's still room for growth and upside.
Come out of the school there and how great they're going to be. Iowa kid who got away, went to Alabama, was a freshman All-American, and talked about transferring back to Iowa. In fact, he did knock someone back or off of their mark. 32-inch vertical, that is awfully impressive.
All right, guys, and now we look at the offensive linemen. Again, not really going to go too deep into this for them because, I mean, let's be honest. We got to watch tape to actually see how good they are. And anyone who tries to talk to you guys at these these offensive line prospects, and they, unless they literally watch all these guys on tape, again, I can't really take them seriously. Again, you can't objectify offensive linemen play in a lot of ways. You just really can't. You can watch them play and see how good they are and chart what happens, but if you don't, it's very rarely I use a statistic to kind of prove a point about an offensive lineman, just because it's not really a practical thing to do because there's so many variances that go into playing offensive line. That's really my answer with that. But yeah, that's why casuals, you hand it off to PFF and say that's okay, but even PFF in a lot of ways, again, they've tried to do it, but there's very big limitations with this. But anyways, you look at this these offensive line combine results. Some of these guys threw down some crazy times. I would say no one got over 4.5, which was 5.4, which was kind of funny. But Caden Proctor, you would have liked to see faster. You need him to be a lead blocker in some situations. Not greatest. Gennings Dunker too. That's again, he's a big time lead blocker too. Would like to see a little better there. Brian Parker, solid, really solid time for him at 5.14. Again, question marks that before. Jake Slaughter, really like the 5.10. But again, guy like Chase Bezanis, if you're around 5 flat, you're in a good spot. Caleb Lamu, really nice sub 5 there. But again, you look at a guy like Max, whatever the hell his name is. He's one of the more freakish guys in this year's draft. Really good to see that. Spencer Fanow, again, looking like the guy he is with a 4.91. Realistic guys, if we look at this offensive line, 40s, I'm not really too concerned about a lot of things. The guys that ran slow, not really too surprised there. I also have Bierstein. I would have liked to see a little bit better, but again, Ken Proctor really the biggest thing. But you know, you'll work with these. These aren't the end of the world. Vertical jump. This just kind of tells you everything. I mean, 35, again, if you're hitting 35 as an offensive lineman, you're in a good spot. But again, you know, some guys, 24.5, bro. Oh, God. He's a massive dude, though, I will say, bro. He moved guys. He wasn't very good pass pro, but he moved dudes. Sam Hoyt, I think I'm not mistaken, right? Whatever. He didn't do too bad. But yeah, you know, some of these guys, if you're a freak if you get over this. Again, for the heavier dudes, I mean, Jake Slaughter, 32.5, damn good, bro. Broad jump, did anyone? Yeah, okay. So a couple guys did this. Honestly, guys, if you break 9, I think you're in a good spot here. But yeah, like Jalen Farmer, really good from him. And if you're cracking 9.5, you're crazy. Like Max, bro, he's a big dude. Like this guy's just an absolute freak. Drew Bowery, I guess. He wasn't good last year, though. Like, he just wasn't that good. I mean, it wasn't really his fault. They didn't really have anyone in that offense. But, yeah, for BC, bro, he definitely just didn't have a great season, to be honest with you. Shuttle drill. Ratledge out of Georgia Tech. That's a good time for him. But other than that, really nothing too big to talk about. I guess you could say Brian Parker Running a 4.8 isn't awesome, but again, you're only get so much with him at center. Again, none of the tackles really ran in this, as expected. I mean, get Spencer Fan out there, but, you know, he's going to do everything. Bench, big thing here. If you're getting below 20 as an offensive lineman, you're actually just a brick. 25 is acceptable. 30 is where you want to be, though. Blake Miller throwing down 31 is really what saved his combine because he did not look awesome really at all in this year's. But yeah, throwing down 32 is going to be great. And then obviously Trey's down. He wasn't really utilized the best last year in that really just Marcel redo your thing sort of offense. But at the same time, he still did a good job. And with that, that is all I have for you guys here in this 2026 NFL Combine recap. A lot of good things we saw here. But at the same time, I was looking for faster 40s. I'm joking. But yeah, that was definitely a really fun weekend to watch all these guys and hear some of the insights of guys like Daniel Jeremiah and kind of see what they're up to with that in terms of a consensus board on some of these guys. But yeah, that was 2026 NFL Combine. Hope you guys enjoyed, again, seeing through these results and kind of what happened and getting a little bit of insight on guys. But yes, on Wednesday, first NFL draft prospect rankings. That'll be the interior defensive lineman. Maybe might get it on Wednesday. I'm probably say don't be surprised if it comes out on Thursday or Friday. That's what I have you guys here. Get ready for the mock draft on Saturday as well. But yeah, NFL Combine NFL offseason now in full swing. We'll have our free agency video coming out on Monday as well. A lot of fun stuff happening.
Mutavea will play it in. Here comes Jovan McClanahan. Races up the floor. McClanahan for the win.